You've heard of France, Italy, Spain, but Portugal? For a lot of people, it's just there, quiet, almost invisible, sitting on the edge of Europe like it's hiding something. And maybe it is, because what if I told you one of the most beautiful, affordable, and livable countries in Europe is also one of the most underrated? And once you see what's really inside Portugal, you start to question why no one talks about it the way they should. Because this isn't just another European destination. This is something different, something that feels real. Imagine waking up in a city where the streets are covered in colorful tiles, where the sunlight hits every corner like it was designed for a movie, where history isn't behind glass, it's everywhere. That's Portugal, a country that doesn't try too hard, and somehow ends up being unforgettable. Now here's where it gets interesting. Portugal used to be one of the most powerful empires in the world. Not just in Europe, in the world. Its explorers sailed across unknown oceans, connected continents, shaped global trade, and changed history forever. But today, it's not loud about it. It doesn't remind you. It doesn't flex. And maybe that's why people underestimate it. Because in a world full of countries trying to stand out, Portugal just exists, quietly confident. But the moment you step inside, you realize how wrong that perception is. Because Portugal is full of contrasts, old and new, simple and luxurious, slow and vibrant, all at the same time. Take a place like Lisbon at first glance. It feels calm, almost sleepy. But then you start walking. You hear music echoing through the streets. You see trams climbing steep hills like something out of another era. You find viewpoints that make the entire city glow. And suddenly, it doesn't feel quiet anymore. It feels alive. Then there's Porto, a city that looks like it was painted by hand. Buildings stacked on hills, a river cutting through the center, bridges that feel iconic without trying to be, and the vibe. Completely different, more raw, more authentic, more emotional. And that's the thing about Portugal. Every place feels like its own world. But here's something most people don't expect. Portugal is also one of the most affordable countries in Western Europe. Think about that. You get European beauty, history, food, lifestyle, but without the extreme prices of places like Paris or London, and that changes everything, because suddenly, living here doesn't feel like a dream, it feels possible. Now, let's talk about something that really matters. The people. Because no matter how beautiful a place is, it's the people who define it. And in Portugal, there's a warmth that's hard to explain. It's not loud. It's not overwhelming. It's subtle, genuine. The kind of kindness that doesn't ask for attention. But you feel it in small moments, in simple interactions. And that's what makes people fall in love with this country. But here's where it gets even deeper. Portugal has something that many countries have lost. They enjoy moments instead of rushing through them. And in today's world, that feels almost rare, almost valuable. Now imagine driving along the coast, cliffs dropping into the ocean, It manages to balance everything: work, relaxation, culture, modern life. It doesn't feel extreme. It feels balanced. And that's something people are starting to notice. More and more people are moving here. Now here's something that might surprise you even more. Portugal is one of the safest countries in the world. Let that sink in. A place with history, beauty, affordability, and safety. That combination, it's rare. Very rare. But let's be real for a moment. Portugal isn't perfect. No country is therangeous. Economic pressures, rising costs in certain areas, and changes that come with popularity. But here's the difference. It hasn't lost its identity. It hasn't turned into something artificial. It's still Portugal. And that authenticity, that's what makes it special. Now think about this. Why do some countries become global icons, while others stay in the background? Is it marketing, perception, or just timing? Because if Portugal had the same level of hype as some other European countries, it would easily compete. In fact, in many ways, it already does. But maybe that's the beauty of it. Maybe being underrated is exactly what keeps it special. Because once a place becomes too popular, it changes. It becomes crowded, expensive, predictable. Portugal hasn't even fully crossed that line yet, and that's why now might be the perfect time to discover it. If you've made it this far, you already see Portugal differently than most people. And that's powerful, because once you start looking beyond the obvious, you start finding the real gems. So if you want to keep discovering places like this, places that are underrated, overlooked, and full of hidden beauty, hit subscribe. Because this channel is all about showing you the side of the world most people miss, the places that don't shout, but still leave the biggest impact. And trust me, this is just the beginning, because Portugal is only one story. There are so many more out there, waiting, undiscovered, underrated, and now you know exactly where to look, because sometimes the most unforgettable places are the ones no one told you about.